como aliense por colaborar con nosotros. Muchas gracias y bienvenidos.
Gracias, Alex. Bueno, primero de todo, quiero preguntar si queréis en inglés. In English? Do you prefer in English? Okay, no problem. So, I will translate now in English. No. Let's see if it's working. I don't think. Yes? No? No va, ¿eh? Oh, okay. Perfect. So, okay. Thank you for coming. Thank you to Ulrich. Thanks, Ulrich. So I'm MBA class of 2013. I'm from Barcelona. I founded Naturitas. I'm gonna explain you the story about Naturitas and a little bit about what is, for me, the rules if you want to develop a business without a lot of funding. So we sold the company with 95% of the shares 2 years ago, and I think it's something you have to consider. First of all, these are the two founders. We met in 2011 at DIESE. So I'm a civil engineer, and my partner Esteban is a telecommunication engineer, also from Barcelona. Okay, this is our background. We met in 2011. He took the internship at Groupon. He worked after MBA at Telefonica. I have background in construction, and I went to A.T. Kearney. It's a consulting firm in Madrid. So we were in 2014 considering to start up a business to come back to Barcelona, and we launched Naturitas. Why we launched Naturitas? Because I cannot take milk and eggs, so I needed to buy all these products, and I couldn't buy them online. Amazon didn't have this segment, and we decided to launch an e-commerce, and it was without resources. We were working during the day. I was working in consulting, 80 hours per week. So what we had to do is, without inventory, to launch an e-commerce. And this category, it's a category that works with a long tail. So there are many thousands of products. Naturitas has 70,000 products in the website. And what we did is basically scrapping. We scrapped a wholesaler that had all this stock. Without having a stock, we had an e-commerce offering these products. I'm going to explain you a little bit more about this. So we launched Naturitas in 2014. First month was September 2014. We had 5,000 euros revenue. Next month in October we had double, 10,000. Third month 15,000, and we did. Come on, if it's so easy, we cannot make money out of it because someone else will do this. There are no barriers to enter, and we thought about other business. And we launched Umplis. We launched in Barcelona. Umplis was a marketplace on demand delivery. So we launched 2 months later than Globo. Okay? And we didn't want to be diluted, so we didn't raise a lot of money. And you know the story about Globo, that they have raised hundreds of millions. And obviously we couldn't compete with them. And we shut down after 9 months. It was a fail fast model, and then we focused in 2016 on Naturitas. And what's Naturitas? So it's 2,500 brands in one site. It's a one-stop shop. So this is our main value proposition for the customer. It's a pure player, so we just have online store. We have a warehouse with 5 million in stock, 70,000 SKUs, and we deliver within 24 hours in Spain, in Portugal, 2-3 days in Europe. So this is the growth and the success story of Naturitas. We launched as I told you, in 2015 without being focused. We were focused on the other business. And even though we could get 800,000 euros in revenue, next year 2 million, 6, 12, you see the numbers, 14, 26, 44, and this year we will close with 64. This half year has been really great, and we're going to achieve the goal. It's a profitable business since the beginning. We had just 1 year with losses, but because we wanted to grow a lot. And now we are in 15 countries. We have size, we ship from Girona to everywhere, and we have with one single warehouse. I think it's a model of long tail, so if it's having a lot of products, and this is the key. If you have the same products and you sell products that the keyword at Google is at €1, it's difficult to make money out of it, okay? So this is the breakdown of the categories. It's Naturitas, as you can see from the name, it's natural products, organic food, natural cosmetics. So this is, we were lucky enough to be in a segment that is growing a lot. If you see an advertisement on Spot TV, you're going to see that it's about natural products, sustainable cars or whatever. So now this is a wave on more natural products, less functional and more natural, no? And then we were able to go to a market that's e-commerce that is growing also a lot. So we took 2 waves. Last year we took another wave, that's COVID, but we were really lucky. Here you can see the growth. So the first year was based in Spain with 15,000 products without a stock. Then we invest a lot on stock and operations. We're integrated, so we have our own warehouse. We have 80 people preparing 6,000 parcels every day. And then we have obviously UPS and Seur, all these companies that have the last mile. And then in 2019, we grew a lot because we start selling in other countries. Now 1/3 of the sales are from outside overseas. And Portugal, France, Italy, it's almost 1/3 of the total sales of Naturitas. And then another thing very interesting is we launched 1.5 years ago, we launched our own brand. Then when you're a direct-to-consumer brand, you are integrated vertically and you have higher margins. If you are a third-party seller, you just have 30-40% depending on the product. If you sell electronic goods, maybe you have 20. But if you have your own brand and you manufacture, you can get like 60-70%. So this different, 30% margin difference is what you have at the bottom line. So it's changed totally the business. And also we invested on TV. We launched in April last year during the COVID, our first TV campaign, and it was a success, obviously, because you couldn't go to a physical store to buy these products. Okay. The story, we opened also in France and Italy physical stores to get faster the local brands, because at the end, if you need to have 70,000 products, 2,000 brands, you need to deal with 2,000 suppliers. And the faster way is to open a physical store. These are the 2 physical stores that we have shut down now during the COVID, obviously. We launched our own brand, and then we started 2 products. Basically, one was, we were acquired in 2019 by a pharmaceutical company here from Spain called Uriach. It's the oldest pharmaceutical company in Spain, the second oldest in Europe, with 185 years of history. Around 300 million revenue, and they were really interested about this business because they wanted to have the information of the customer. And as we have a lot of big data that is interesting to them, and also we are direct to consumer, something that they used to sell directly to pharmacies. They don't have information from the customer, and thanks to the acquisition, they now have the information. And then, thanks to that, they are, for example, considering, they see that Uriach see that there is a pharmaceutical company, they see that there is a trend of personalization of food supplements. Instead of developing a line of products, they come to, maybe they take internally 2 years to develop this. They come to Naturitas and they ask us if we can do this in 3 months. So we have launched a personalized food supplement line called To Naturitas, and you answer some questions and we personalize your supplements. And then now we're going to launch next month, well, in 2 days, digital native brand of organic cosmetics. So there is a trend, obviously, less chemical products in the cosmetics, and we have launched holistic, That's a cosmetic brand developed by us. So this is the story about Naturitas and what we offer to the customers. Obviously, as I mentioned before, that if you have your own brand, you have another margin. And since you have another margin, you can invest more in marketing. So I'm going to tell you 10 points. I know that most of you are taking the class of entrepreneurship. I guess if you are here, at some point you want to be related to entrepreneurship. I don't know if you have launched, any of you, any business? Yes? What is this about? Sorry?
Swimwear.
Swim. Okay. So it's fashion. Yeah?
I have a small olive oil company.
Where is the production?
Italy.
Italy. Okay. So you buy from Spain, no? The bottle, you say that is from Italy, no? Yeah, no. You are the only one that is not doing this. No? Only kidding. Okay, so you have also, okay. Take the microphone.
Okay, sorry. Album application.
Yeah?
Album. You get the album delivered by application.
Okay, so maybe you do have a website? Yeah. So at the end, everyone has something related to the technology, and it's something that gives you scalability. No? This is the interesting part of this kind of businesses. Besides, it's very easy now to raise money. There is a lot of liquidity, and you can be an entrepreneur easily than before. No? So good luck with your businesses. If you want to contact me directly from LinkedIn, okay? So I don't know if you want to be diluted, but it's something that we don't like as entrepreneurs. We want to keep our equity. So I'm going to give you like 10, in my opinion, advices or rules to follow if you want to exit your company or being the main owner of the shares, okay? So first of all, we have to be clear. Not all startups can be bootstrap. You know, bootstrap means that you develop, you grow organically, you know, with your cash. So not everything can be, not all the startups can be bootstrapped. So I'm going to show you an example, SpaceX. So if you want to go to Mars, it's impossible to do this with your, even though you say PayPal and you put 60 million euros, you need a lot of cash. No? So first of all, I guess that these businesses, you can do this. I don't know if you have to buy the properties of the oil, the olive trees, no? So I don't think you need a lot of cash. The second rule, this is very easy to explain, no? So it's important, you know, now that there's a lot of cash, what is more important is to have a good team. So the limit here is not about raising money, it's about to have hands to do the product with that cash, right? So be sure that the founding team, there is no overlap. So for example, in my case, I'm more the sales guy, and my partner, the CTO, is Esteban. He's more the tech guy, no? So there is an overlap, even in terms of mindset. So I'm more the expansion guy, and he's more the let's analyze, make numbers, be sure that we have to develop this. No? So it's very, very important to have a balance among the founding team, even though they don't have shares, but at least it's a team that is balanced, okay? So here you have a picture. You can see that everyone has to do something. No? You cannot have like three the same engineers, friends from the same college, that they have the same skill set. So try to find always different skill sets. Then the number 3, first priority is to secure stable sources of personal income. I know you are young, but if you have kids, so you don't want to stop feeding them because you have to pay the bills for the startup, no? So this is, I think, is a rule. Don't try to put money from, like a mortgage from your house. So be independent. It's easy to find funds now. So then rule number 4, the key here is try to play with. I'm sure that Albert, no, has explained to you some cases, no, about people that has developed a business without asking money because they play with working capital. No? So here I'm going to give you the example of Naturitas. They have seen, right? Okay, so here you see, in our case, we're an e-commerce. So people used to put the credit card details and we charge beforehand, we send. But still, we need to have the stock. If we have, for example, 20 days of stock, we take the money from the credit card in 1 day, but we pay to our suppliers in 45 days, the balance gives you 24 days. So the bigger you are, more cash you have, right? Because at the end you have 24 days of sales, right? So this is the numbers we made at Naturitas. We didn't need to, here we have a, we used to pay at 45 days. They didn't allow some to pay at 60, but you know, the big supermarkets pay at 90, and more if you can, some stuff has to be on deposit. So try to find these kind of businesses that have the working capital, okay? So if you have, for example, you make oil, don't buy the bottles like 1 year beforehand, no? Or the oil pay after you sell them. No? So this is something that you want to, as entrepreneur, by nature, we are optimistic, okay? If you want to be entrepreneurs, it's because we think that things are easy done and we can do ourselves, so we underestimate some things. No? People try to find a business model that is disruptive, and they have to fulfill many hypotheses to do the business. No? So here I have a joke, a meme. It's a simple way to kill a mosquito. First of all, you have to attract them by putting salt. Instead, they want to think that it's sugar. So obviously they will come because they think it's sugar. They will find that it's salty and they will take white tequila. They believe that it's water, but no, it's tequila. So they get drunk and they go over the stick and they fall and they have a rock and they are done. So this is only 4 hypotheses. And for sure you're going to kill a mosquito. No? So this is, sometimes, now I'm a business angel and I see people that come, no, come on, the market is very huge and I just need to be fulfill like 4 hypotheses to have the 20% of the market share. Okay, come back with the first. If you have fulfilled the first, then we talk. No? So it's important. I think it's the easy part here is take one hypothesis and go for this and decide a market, find a market and go for it. Don't try to build, to go for 3 different markets, okay? So another thing, you know, I guess you got the case of lean startup. And so it's an example that you don't need to have a perfect product to launch. You need a minimal viable product, no? MVP. So the MVP, I'm going to show you a picture. You're going to understand that you don't need to build something very crazy. So try it with something easy first. Validate, no? There is a case, the Dropbox case. I don't know if you know the case, but I took that on. So Dropbox, so the founder, Drew Houston, what he did basically, he decided what was the value of a Dropbox, but he didn't develop anything. He just made a video of screenshots. Like, it was fake, totally fake. And he uploaded the video, and the first night, he got 70,000 signups. With those numbers, he went to a VC, explained the case, and then, with the money, he developed Dropbox. And you know the story about Dropbox now, okay? Let's see if it's moving. By the way, if you have any question or comment. Yeah.
I basically have a question exactly to that 6th statement here. Would you say that it's also valid today? I mean, like in the past when there was something disruptive, or today when there's still something disruptive, I would understand that. But if you, for example, today want to launch a new marketplace for, let's say, Naturitas, which is it's not available in Germany, for example, there is so much alternative available already that when you just have a like simple MVP, the people will also see that, no? And they will go to Amazon and just buy what they ever bought on Amazon rather than going to you, no? So what I want to ask is that still true today with all the variations we have available, that a simple MVP is still enough to convince people?
Yes. Basically, an MVP gonna prove an hypothesis, right? So I guess if you are doing something disruptive, it's an hypothesis that is not already proved, right? So you want to validate this. So if you say, no, you want to develop a marketplace, come on. There are marketplaces of anything. So that's not something disruptive, right? And disruption, there are many ways of innovation. You can disrupt just by changing the channel, right? So just trying to change the channel and to validate an hypothesis. Basically, it's this. An MVP, it's a tool you develop with large resources to validate an hypothesis. I'm answering your question. Yeah? Yeah? I don't know. I think it's not. Stop working? Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. Yeah. So what is very important now, this is, for me, is the most important of anything I have mentioned. It's about the team. So you have to develop a culture. And as I mentioned before, see, now there is a lot of cash on the market. So now this is not the limited resource. The limited resource is people. So it's very important to find these people that are going to introduce you to the next level of the company. So the first 5 to 10 people is the most important part of your company. Even more about the product, because you can change the product. You can pivot. But changing all the team from one day to another is very difficult, right? So for me, it's the most important rule. It's invest a lot in acquiring and attracting talent, okay? So this is obvious rule. Don't try to do something that's a marketplace of anything. Now there are marketplaces of everything, of olive oils. I'm sure that there are already a marketplace of olive oils. No? So this is something very important. Here, what we did at Naturitas, basically, we went and we did something different. With the other business model, it was already Globo, it was already Deliveroo, it was already Uber Eats. There were many competitors. With the other, we went to a segment. It was natural products, and we tried to do the things differently. Okay? Rule number 9. Okay, here is an example what I mentioned before. So basically, let's see, it's going really bad, this. Let's see. I think there is a problem with the battery. Okay. So here what we did basically, at Naturitas in 2014, we analyzed all the competitors. So we took a list of products that we wanted to sell, and we analyzed who were selling these products, right? And we saw that they didn't have a stock, and it took like 5-6 days to have the products. So let's see, let's try to find a supplier that can give us the product in 24 hours. So we find one guy that has 25,000 SKUs. They used to sell to pharmacies. And so we have a scrapping. So we took all the catalog. We didn't invest like in people crunching, uploading the catalog. We scrapped, and it was something, a robot, that we didn't need 1,000 of people doing that, no? Then we put all this catalog at Google Ads to validate if there was a demand. We saw that it was a there was a demand, and then with analytics, we knew which products were interesting to the market, and then we start buying stock, paying 45 days, 60 days, but we knew that the product could be sold in 20 days. We didn't, so that what I mentioned before, the working capital was positive. That was the key of being here with a bootstrap business model. So we took a small investment round, 5%, and it was a moment where we got break even, and we could have, we didn't need as much money, you know, and that was very easy for us. We didn't need a lot of money to be raised. So then you are not so diluted, okay? It's important to get break even. The sooner the better, obviously. Well, so another way to get this goal, to get break even, is to be frugal. Don't invest a lot, you know. I'm going to show you a picture that everyone knows here. The people at Amazon, This picture is at the beginning of Amazon. No, Jeff Bezos here, and as you can see, he didn't invest a lot in offices and in desks. So this is something that we fulfill this role in Naturitas, and we didn't have the best warehouse. We didn't have the best, let's say, facilities, and it's something important. And at the end, you get like this, no? You see the difference. I don't know if you want to change your life like him, but this is the final slide. No? So, since I know that this is a part of the MBA, and yes, it's a case method, and there is a lot of class participation, I would like to open the microphones to everyone. If you have any question about the story I mentioned before at Naturitas, or if you want to, about the rules, if you want to challenge me the rules, if you think that there is missing any, so we open the microphones.
One of the questions that I have is, we're also trying to launch an e-commerce, and assuming that you've already validated the hypothesis and that you have a product that you want to sell, it might be a little bit overwhelming. What advice would you give? Like, how would you select the first product? Like, how would you start? Would you start by trying to get engagement on Instagram or pay for Google Ads, assuming that you've already validated that there's demand for a product? How do you start to go off and sell the first piece? What would be your first advice in e-commerce?
So you want to open an e-commerce. You don't know the product.
Like, assuming that you
know
have
the
the idea,
segment.
you have the product,
Okay.
and you already would be able to have physically the product, how would you go on to start to make the first sale? Would you go through Google Ads? Would you go through Instagram?
Yes.
Like more or less,
I mean,
how would you sell the first
an
piece?
e-commerce it's like a store, but it's online, obviously. It's like a mall. So the first thing you have in a mall, no, it's traffic, no. So first you get to gain that traffic. So there are many sources of getting traffic traditionally, and there are, depending on the category, there are some categories that works better than others. Okay. So for example, if you are in, the funnel, the conversion funnel, no. First at the beginning you have, awareness that you exist. At the end of the funnel, conversion and repetition. To know that the people, first of all, depending on which part of the funnel you are looking for people, you go for a channel of getting traffic or another, okay? Obviously, Google, it's a search engine. People is looking for a word, so they already know the word. So if, for example, in our case, that is natural products, food supplements, so if I already know the brand, I already know the package, I know everything, even the city. If you put this on the search, you are at the end of the funnel because you are really close to the conversion. And at the end, the pay-per-click, and Google, it's a bidding system. So at the end, you can bid for a word or a long tail word, like 3 words. Obviously, you pay. You are able to pay more because you know that it's at the end of the funnel, the conversion. No? So depending on, first of all, the product, you decide and which stage of the funnel you are looking for. So if you go, for example, at the beginning, it's more about Instagram, getting awareness of your e-commerce. If you're already looking for someone that is at the end of the funnel, like going to buy, you go for maybe something like Google. So obviously, I know that at the essay, they don't allow us to say it depends on the case, no? We have to say a closed answer. And here I have to tell you, it depends on the case, no? But basically, it's look for the funnel, depending on your product, and there are different channels of getting traffic. So if you go, Instagram is at the beginning of the funnel. If you go, for example, at Google, it's at the end of the funnel, right? Next.
Yeah, my question is related to the team. You say it's really important, the first 5-10 employees. So
Yes.
I have a double question: is like who you hired first, and also did you have the same team to work for Naturitas and for the delivery business, and or did you merge those teams?
No, we didn't have. It's totally different. I mean, it was about the product, an app. At the end, it's a product. Obviously, it was a marketplace, right? So you need different skill set for the people. If you want to develop a marketplace, it's obviously a marketplace is a lot of marketing. In that case, it was also about operations because it was an on-demand delivery, and it was totally different. But answering your first question, it's what I mentioned. You need something balanced. So obviously, you need the tech part. I highly recommend to find a CTO, co-founder, or at least the CTO has to have stock options because there is a problem with the legacy of the code and all that. So you don't want something that to be changed every 1 or 2 years. And this is very important. Then you have the tech part, then you have the operations, and then you have the marketing. Maybe to simplify this, no? Obviously, you can have something a freelance as a CFO, or if you have some background in business, you can do the numbers. You don't need a CFO full time, unless you are raising a lot of money. But I don't think you are in the right spot now. You want to raise a lot of money. It's okay? Yeah, Albert? Ulrich.
Primero yo.
Cold call.
Cold call. Thank you very much for coming. I think it's super interesting to see how such a vertical marketplace or e-commerce has been able to compete with Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you heard a million times, how do you compete with Amazon?
Thank you.
Right?
I think that for me, it's the best friend we have. Why? Because Amazon at the end, it's raising the bar. And we know where is the bar. And we are smaller than them, obviously. We are flexible than them. Maybe we don't have the same amount of money and resources and even political help. Now I'm here with a microphone. I have to say that they have easier, there are many decisions taken because it's Amazon that as Naturitas I cannot get. But anyway, so for me, Amazon is it's someone that is making the pie bigger, and I want to take a piece of the pie. So the bigger the pie, the better for me. That's my vision, and I think it's good. If, for example, now they open in Poland, we also launch in Poland, because if they go to Poland, it's because the market is already mature, and they're gonna teach and they're gonna educate the customers. And we're already competing in very competitive markets like Deutschland or Germany and DACH, all the region, and UK. If we're able to compete there, we will be able to compete in Poland. So for us, it's the bigger the cake, the better for us. So in our case, it's not a problem. Obviously, there are some categories that they go and they kill the category. But this category, our category, it's a long tail category. So for us, we have 70,000 products. Okay, they have 1 million, but they have 1 million. Maybe in the warehouse they have only 30% of the 1 million. Yeah, and the difference is we are a category killer. So we know the CEO of any supplier, and they know me. Do you know they know Jeff Bezos? It's impossible, right? Even the prices. It's an algorithm from Seattle, and it's something that I think that you have to find your competitor. But for me, Amazon is not a competitor. For me, it's something that is helping me to make the cake bigger, Yeah, Albert?
I want to ask about Naturitas. Like, if a third party wants to sell something through Naturitas, how does it work? Or like a startup or something?
So, first of all, it has to be in we just sell these products like organic food, food supplements, cosmetics, okay? So basically you send an email to us, we analyze the product, and we have 2,000 customers that test all the products we enter in our, so they give them a sample, like they are very trustful customers, and they give us a recommendation. If they like this, we upload it obviously we have a review of the product because they are testing. The deal is that we give for free the product, they test it, and they write down a recommendation that upload in the website if the product is going in. Basically, it's something collaborative. So our customers, they make the check on the quality and everything.
Thank you very much for the talk. I found it very interesting that you now have your own brand.
Yes.
What are the criteria for developing the product range for your own brand? Is it basically just anything that's commoditized and where
Here
where
they are obviously when you launch your own brand, you have two trends. One is like going for the top sale products, trying to make cheaper, and you get still a higher margin because you are vertically integrated. There is another trend that's saying try to build something disruptive because you have the big data, because you know the trends beforehand. Before the others, you are faster to develop the products, and you wouldn't be like the innovative. So my answer is we do both. So basically, we go to the most commoditized products, and we are not a discount because this category doesn't work like discount. If you have a headache, I give you some herbs that cost €1, you're going to say, no, it's a real headache. If I tell you 10 euros, they say, no, it's a really headache. 20, yes, this one. It's going to, So this category works. We're lucky, first of all, that the product is small. And then that the higher price, the better it looks like, no? So we don't play the game of disrupt the price war and all this. So, and the other part, the innovative, it's something we are doing. And next year, we're going to launch 2-3 digital native brands because we have seen, for example, there is a keto trend, like, low carb products. We want to launch our own brand of low carb products. We want to launch, as I mentioned, the cosmetics. So we were going to do both things. Digital native brands and the other, let's say, more customized, more commodity products. No?
So you said that the more that you grow, the more money you have.
Yes.
Okay? Tell us if there is any tension on how to use this money, because you can use it to hire more people, to retain people, increasing salaries, to increase the range of SKUs, to go to a new country. So was any point in which it was a tension between how to use the money or to leave it in cash, maybe? Okay?
Yeah. No, here's what we did is, obviously we saw that it was a trend, obviously, that as already said, there is a fear, all the e-commerce, we have that Amazon goes to our category, so we have to gain a scale. And the easiest way to get a scale is opening new markets. Yeah? We saw that, obviously, we needed to grow. So what we did is we hired, and we invest a lot on that, hiring country managers, French people, Italian people, Portuguese people. And why? Because it's different. If you go to a supermarket in France or in Germany, it's different, everything, the labels, the colors, so you need local people. You need to give the local brands. No? We invest a lot on that. And cash, we're a startup. Startups, by definition, we have to grow. And if the money is in the bank, you need to move this. No? So I think that growth in international level was the first focus. And once we had that, we focus on profitability. Yeah, that is our own brand gives the profitability.
I do have another question when it comes to your own brands. Were your suppliers at the first happy because they can grow with you, or were they like a bit distant or concerned, or how did that change in the relationship?
Our positioning is that we don't want to have more than 20% penetration on our own brands. So it means if we grow, last year we grow 95%, from 24 to 45, and all the brands grow. So they don't feel that like there's a threat that I'm going to lose. Okay, they are losing penetration, but because the pie is bigger, they don't have a fear on that. And at the end, we say that here people is coming because we have everything, one-stop shop. It's our main value. So we don't want to shut down all the other brands. We want to keep. At the end, it's our entry barrier to another. To have 2,500 suppliers. This is something difficult to do that. To manage all this, the payments, the relationship, the orders, So for us, we have to focus on being a long tail, a category killer. It's, the word is category killer. We are going to be the category killer of this category. Yes?
Hi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Josep. Amazing story. I knew your track record in Naturitas is amazing. Thank you for sharing.
It's because of Jesse, I took the MBA, so.
I would like to know if you have any partner in the logistic part. So you mentioned you are working nowadays with Seur.
Yes. So we are a customer-centric company. So we allow to our customers to select. In Spain, they have an option among 6 suppliers. So we work with 12 suppliers. That's something that said, come on, the operations professor will come, and or the consulting firm will come and say, come on, why you have 12 suppliers and why you don't go to one? Because we are a customer-centric. And there is people that they don't like UPS, they like DHL, And I think it's something also good to us because we have tension among these suppliers. And DHL, they have a problem in Germany because they are giving a lot to Amazon. We go and say, come on, you're going to lose your market share. No? So our positioning is to have many top of them. Like in France, we have 3 because there are 3. In Italy, we have Bartolini, we have SDA, Poste, La Poste, we have GLS because there are 3. No, there are no more. So that's our positioning. Obviously, then we have one for the islands, the Canary Islands. We have one specific for Canary Islands. We have another one specific for Mallorca. So at the end, it's our business about, obviously, it's a service. We have to be good on that. Yeah.
But actually, nowadays, you don't have a suite to put it all together and manage the logistic part, or?
We have our own warehouse, but the last mile, the shipping is done by third parties. Here in Spain, we have really good companies. In France and Italy also. Maybe they are more expensive, but they are also good. Yeah.
Thank you. One more question from me. Why did you sell the company when you did? I think.
Why we sold the company?
When you did, if you're now seeing such growth,
yes.
Like, what kind of did they offer? Like,
at that moment, why we decided to take the decision? I mean, we didn't want to sell. we were in a rising 2 million because we wanted to expand the company, and we had already a 12 million revenue, so it was break even. It was a right moment because the dilution would be smaller. But we found, I say, the perfect partner to sell the company. And we were 35 years old at that moment, like 2 years and a half. And we decided, like, there are 2 options here. We just take 2 million and we grow, and in 3 to 4 years, we're going to think, and maybe we sell to this partner, to another one. But we saw that at 38, you can do another business also. No? So let's sell this. There is a professor at DSE, Luis Cabiades, and we met him. Like, yeah, he's also a professor of your class, right? So Luis, and we asked him, what do you recommend to us? And he said the number is like 90% of the entrepreneurs that have an exit, they don't regret on the sale. Just 10% maybe they say, okay, I sold not in the right moment, I could wait, But on the other hand, 90% of the entrepreneurs that they don't sell, they regret about not selling the company, I'm answering your question. Maybe it's, so at the end you have obviously, they have a risk, that selling too soon. Then there are other ways of diminishing this risk. What we did is we took a structure that is called earn out. Basically, you put a variable price with a floor and a ceiling. And this is defined by the numbers in the last year. We were lucky enough to get the COVID, and we're going to get the ceiling. But obviously, I'm sure that now I would sell the company maybe 2 times the price. But couldn't be here talking about this.
So this session is about bootstrapping, among other things. So many people say that when there are investors entering, they professionalize a little bit. People give them some extra advice because at the end the company is growing.
Smart money, they call it.
Smart money. Okay. So tell us about how you feel about this. Okay, because you were not diluted, but you didn't have these investors that could give you some additional advice and professionalization.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I'm a business angel now, and I have invested in the last 2 years in 9 projects, okay? So I'm selling the story about the smart money, and you have to take like some at the seed stage, no? The thing is, maybe answering your question is, now you can find advisors that are paid, or with a small equity. I would recommend them to take this. If you need, obviously you need mentors, you need advisors, because they give you, in our case, even more because we are engineers, and you know that the engineers are focused in the third decimal, no? and in this case, you need someone that has the big picture. An external advisor gives you the big picture, and it's something required always, because all the entrepreneurs is always like thinking about the day-to-day problems and someone, a mentor, so I would recommend to have mentor, but if you can take them like paying them some fee per hour, yeah, or maybe in phantoms also. Phantom shares is something very interesting because at the end, the money for you as an entrepreneur is lost just in case of an exit, right? It's a success fee. I don't know if you have more questions. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, sorry, man. I've got plenty of questions, but I know your time is limited. So one thing is, I reckon you collect a lot of data with Naturitas, right? Do you use that data? And if yes, how do you use that data?
They say that big data is like the young people, like adolescents, sex, because everyone is talking about this, but no one has done it, but we are using this data basically since the beginning because we were scrapping that supplier. And one thing we were taking from them was the variation from stock. So we know since 2014 all the sales of one wholesaler, and we have seen the trends of the products. Then you go, for example, and go Google Trends, LX 10. There are other sources that give you, SEMrush, SimilarWeb, a lot of data. There is a lot of data. But then you have to think about what you're going to do with them. In our case, our main focus is to develop products. We want to develop products with those data, and it's what we are doing. And then another thing we are doing with the data is targeting the customers. So, for example, someone that is always looking for a discount, you have to send them always a discount. And someone that is not caring about the price, don't send them discounts and price newsletters, no? Give them reviews. I'm going to show you the reviews, of the products, not prices. This is things that we are doing. But at the end, I'm telling you, it's like adolescent sex. Everyone is talking about the big data, but no one is doing this. Someone, yeah?
So, Josep, you started, the project after other two, right? So this
it was parallel to the one on demand delivery. Yes.
So with the idea of being an entrepreneur, no?
Yes.
And now, some years later, you are now a business angel.
And also an entrepreneur.
And also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about this, okay, about being entrepreneur or business angel. So.
Yes. So I think my main value to as a business angel is like avoiding making the same mistakes I made. So this is what my mentality is, going there and giving the advice, like being the bad cop on the table, no? And as an entrepreneur, I like a lot. I think I'm 38 and I know a lot about the product. We're gonna launch a new e-commerce after this one, and I think we're looking for talent. also people that want to join us during this journey. If you're looking for like 6 months after the MBA experience in an e-commerce or digital native brand, contact me at LinkedIn. And if you have an idea, don't look for money. Try to find a way to get a bootstrap business. That's my recommendation. And fulfill the 10 rules. Okay?
Pues, Josep, thank you very much for that. We've got nearly 4 o'clock. That was super interesting, super helpful.
You're welcome.
I definitely will forward your offer of this 6-month period with you guys to the students at Yes MBA, and big applause for him. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you.